All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. Want to give a special thanks to, again, Adidas 20. Thank you very much for your super thanks. I much appreciate your generosity and your support. Thank you. And also, the real Siberius. I'd like to give you a special thank you as well. Thank you very much for the super thanks. I really appreciate it. Very nice of you. Thank you. So I just want to address some of the trolls that find themselves in my channels. Like, I don't even understand why are you dudes even worried about my little channel? Like, why are you even worried about it? You get triggered so easy. I mean, ESPN, Fox Sports, they have huge followings, right? Hundreds of thousands of people watch the show, watch the clips later on. Huge audience. I mean, I'm influencing what? A couple thousand people? Big deal. Who cares? I mean, you guys are like a bunch of sensitive, easily offended, whiny women. Like, I never see anything like it. Just, I guess that's just how it is nowadays. Everybody's so offended by stuff. I'll never get it. You think I go on to some fool like FYF Sports? Think I go on to his channel and I'm like, oh man, that's not true. You're hyping up LeBron James and no, I just don't even go on it. Not only do I not comment on it, I don't even watch it. I got no need to. I knew the dude's full of nonsense. He's an idiot. So what else is there to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got no reason to even go on a channel like that. But anyway, got that out of the way. So in this video here, one of my favorite things to bust up narratives, a stupid, silly one. This is absolute revisionist history. So you probably heard Shannon Sharpe at one time or another, if you listen to him for any length of time. He thinks that the 91 Lakers, 91 Pistons, they got old. That's the reason why the Bulls dispatched them so easy. Couldn't be any other reason, right? It had to be because they got old, okay? Does he ever mention, like Boston was getting old when Detroit beat them just a couple seasons before? No, he doesn't mention that. Or, like when San Antonio and Boston, they were getting older when Miami won their championships. Nope, no mention. This is something that's been going on since the beginning of the NBA, okay? It isn't so much people get old, it's just people have their reign, the champions, the dynasties, even like back-to-backs. They have their run, and then they move on. Now there's another team, a fresher, younger, hungrier team that takes their spot. Minneapolis Lakers, 1949 to 1954, in that 6-year period, they won 5 out of 6 championships, all right? George Mikan retired after the 1954 season. That opened up Syracuse to win it in 55, Philly to win it in 56. Then in 57, that's when Bill Russell got drafted, and that's what started the great dynasty. They won the championship in 57 right away. In 1958, Bill Russell gets injured, misses half the series, and they get beat. 59 to 1966, Boston wins 8 straight. Nobody has a chance. The Lakers are getting beat year after year after year. Wilt Chamberlain getting beat year after year. But finally, in 1967, Philadelphia, a 68-13 team, easily the best record in the 60s, they beat Boston, okay? But Boston's reign is not over. They come back in 1968 and 69, win the championship. Then Bill Russell retires in 1969. Now it opens up. So teams like the Knicks, well, they were the number one or number 2 seed in 69. They had home court advantage. They were supposed to beat Boston in 69. They couldn't do it. But after Russell retired, now it's wide open. And the Knicks won it in 1970. The Lakers finally win a championship. They got Wilt, they got Jerry West, they got Gail Goodrich, Happy Harrison, Jim McMillan. They got a really good team. Finally, in 72, they win a championship. They couldn't do it during Bill Russell's tenure. Oh no, only after the fact. And then the Knicks win it again in 73, but only after Boston's reign was over. This is just the natural progression of things, the way it goes. So then the rest of the 70s was, basically a one and done, 1 year wonder kind of thing. I think Boston did win 2 out of 3 between 74 and 76, but all through the 70s, it was just basically 1 year wonders all the way. Then Bird and Magic enter the NBA. They win 8 of the next 9 championships between 1980 and 1988. All right? That's just what happened. Philadelphia won it in 1983. It took the 1981 and 1982 MVPs to join together to get a single championship in that 9-year run. And that was also with players like Maurice Cheeks, a Hall of Famer, Bobby Jones, a Hall of Famer, Andrew Toney, a perennial all-star. This team was very, very good. One of the best teams of all time. And that was the only one season that either the Lakers or Boston did not win it between that time. But then, in 1988, Boston was getting older, and Detroit beat them finally. In 87, it looked like they had a shot. Of course, Bird made that great defensive play. They ended up winning, whatever. Detroit overtakes Boston. In 1988, here's the ages. Larry Bird was 31 years old. Hardly over the hill, right? Kevin McHale was 30. All right. Robert Parrish, 34. So he's outside his prime by now. Dennis Johnson, 33. I'd say he's slightly outside his prime. Danny Ainge is like 27, whatever. Bill Walton's gone. He's retired. He's done. No longer a factor. All right. So for the most part, he's like, yeah, these guys are getting a little bit older, but they're not like finished or anything. Detroit beats them. Okay, great.
Rodman holds court. But hail to the new Eastern Conference Kings, the Detroit Pistons, finally.
31 years it took them.
Chuck has it, finally. And the celebration has begun.
For the locker rooms, that with this crowd getting on the court, someone could get hurt.
McHale and Thomas, what a picture that is.
That's what it's all about.
Good luck against the Lakers, I'm sure, is what McHale is telling the Pistons.
They get beat in the finals, but then the next year in 89, Bird has a back injury before the season. He's pretty much done. Now, he does have some moments the rest of his career, but overall, we're never going to see the Larry Bird that we did before. But in 1989, Detroit beats the Lakers. Here's the ages of the key players, 1989 Lakers. Magic Johnson, 29. Byron Scott, 27. James Worthy, 27. You would say those guys are firmly in their primes. No question. Michael Cooper is 32, actually 33 when he played in the finals. But he's only playing one more year and he's done. Kareem is 41, actually 42 in the 1989 finals, his last year and last game.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 47 seconds left in this game and his team trailing. Mahorn has fouled out of the game and Laimbeer will replace him. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is going out. And there's the hand. That's it. He's out. At a 3-2 lead, They couldn't win one of the last two. Now they'll do it. World champs.
Nobody's in there talking about, oh, the Lakers just got so old. But Byron Scott was out for the whole finals. Magic Johnson was hurt after the second game. Then he was out. All right? But nobody's whining or crying, making excuses. That's just what happened. Then Detroit completes the back-to-back in 1990. They got to win 2 in a row. The Bulls get beaten 7 to them. They got to wait their turn one more year. Then in 91, it's the Bulls' turn. All the players are, key players are in their prime. They've ascended, period. Nobody was saying anything about Detroit's age, okay? They were not saying that at all. Detroit was going for a three-peat.
I think that Magic Johnson really got him fired up about it and really did the job. Well, I think the crowd is cheering here for the Bulls right now and the Pistons as they leave the court.
I don't think they're cheering for the Bulls, but I think the greeting is for the Pistons as they are headed off as time runs down. Pistons wasting no time in getting out of here. Now timeout was called. They left the bench, although they're back to the locker room. Their season has concluded while the Chicago Bulls advance to the NBA championship round. They will go against the winner between the Lakers and the Trailblazers.
But in that series, the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals, the key players, Isaiah Thomas, 30 years old, Joe Dumars, 28, Dennis Rodman, 30, Mark Aguirre, 32. Some of the other peripheral players Bill Laimbeer was like 34. Vinnie Johnson, I think, was 35. James Edwards might have been 36. John Sally, I think, was 27. Was kind of hit or miss there. But yeah, some of those guys maybe. The next year in 92, Rodman, Dumars, Isaiah, they made the All-Star team, all of them. Rodman's still winning Defensive Player of the Year. Dumars is first team All-Defense. And Isaiah made an All-Star, I believe, in 93 and 94. He just kept making them. Hardly finished. But now we look back and it's, they were old. They only beat them because they got old. They couldn't be because the Bulls just got better. That's not it. They got old. Okay. 91 finals, Lakers and Bulls. You look at Magic Johnson, he was 31 years old on the Lakers. Byron Scott was 29. James Worthy, 29. Michael Cooper, Kareem, they're gone. However, you got some new players. A.C. Green, 27 years old. He was an all-star starter the year before. Sam Perkins, 29. Vlade Divac, 23. Does that sound over the hill to you?
And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship. The Bulls gritted as they try to get back to their locker room. For the Lakers, a different story. The Chicago Bulls' domination of this series has to be considered a major surprise. Mike, there was no reason to believe that the Lakers would fall apart so dramatically.
I think it was a combination of things. I'm not quite sure that everyone gave the Bulls the credit they deserved throughout the season. I think everyone felt the balance of power was in the West this year, that Portland, in fact, was the best team, and when the Lakers got by them, that the Lakers then were just going to put the Bulls away.
Did it sound to you like the feeling back in 1991 was that, oh yeah, the Lakers were old, they were finished? Or did it sound more like they expected the Lakers to win that series? Period. Now, why now? 30 some odd years later, we got fools like Shannon Sharp and Nick Wright and Colin Cowherd, all the idiots getting on here talking about, oh yeah, they were old. That's not what they were saying. They expected the Lakers to win, not the Bulls. That's what I mean. I call bullshit on that one. Drives me nuts. Now, what have you ever heard about the Boston Celtics, 2008, all the way up to like, say, 2012? You ever heard anything about them? LeBron couldn't beat him in 08. He couldn't beat him in 2010. 09, Garnett was hurt, so he never got the chance to play him. But did you ever hear anything about Boston? Like, oh yeah, well, the only reason they beat Boston is because they got old. You never heard that, right? You never heard it after the series, whatever. But here's what's kind of weird. Here's a commercial right before the 2012 playoffs. Make of it what you will. So it seemed to me like they were saying Boston was old. They had a lot of mileage. They were done. Basically saying, well, underestimate Jerome Perro. But they were acknowledging they were an old team. 2012, Kevin Garnett was 35, actually 36, when he played Miami, 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. Ray Allen was 36. He was going to turn 37 in July. Paul Pierce was 34 years old. That's the Boston Big Three. So you tell me, what seems more legit like somebody got old? And then you have San Antonio. Now here's a team that swept Cleveland in 2007. But what did they do after 07? Because they were getting older. Bruce Bowen was 35, 36 years old. You know, their defensive stopper, he was about on his last leg. You got Ginobili, Parker, still in their prime and everything, but Duncan is getting older. David Robinson's been gone for 5 years. Here's what they did. In 2008, they lost in the Western Conference Finals 4-1. In 09, they got beat in the first round in 5. 2010, they lost in the semifinals 4-0, swept out. 2011, lost in the first round to an 8-seed Memphis in 6 games. 2012, lost in the Western Conference Final after a 2-0 lead, lost 4-2. And then in 2013, they get to the finals. The ages of these guys, though, Tony Parker is 30, 31 years old. Okay, he's still in his prime, no doubt. Manu Ginobili is 35, just about to turn 36 like the next month. Okay. Tim Duncan was 37 years old in that finals. Any mention of that? Any mention ever of those guys' age? Does Shannon Sharp say, yeah, just like when LeBron and Miami finally were able to beat Boston because they got old, finally able to beat San Antonio, barely by the skin of their teeth in 7 games because the Spurs got older. Does he ever throw that in too? No, because the biases are obvious and, very distinct. In 2014, obviously, the Spurs mopped the floor with them. But a big reason for that was, Parker was 32. Ginobili was 36, almost 37. Duncan was 38. But here's the thing. They added, Danny Green was 26. Patty Mills, 24. Gary Neal, 28. Kawhi Leonard, he was, 23 years old. So these guys they had young to go with veteran. I think Thiago Splitter was like 28, 29, whatever he was. So they had a good mix of veteran and young players. I think Boris Diaw was like 30, 31. They had a really good mix in there, no doubt about it. But the core players are old. They're older, right? But I don't see how that's much different than the 91 Lakers. They brought in younger, fresher players as well to mix with the veterans. Only now, years later, people like Shannon Sharp are saying this stuff instead of just giving them credit. But they beat the Lakers and they weren't expected to. Nope, cannot do it. So I just can't stand this got old narrative. It works both ways, but it only goes one way, always against the Bulls, and then dead silence when it comes to LeBron. The media always falls silent about anybody LeBron beat, about getting old. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing the video, that would be excellent. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I've been trying to give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.